clock at waist height. She walked into the large kitchen, which smelled delicious and was redolent of herbs and baking. "Hello, I'm Peggy Ashley. Who are you?" asked the owner of the voice. Rose studied the pretty blonde woman. She looked as if she might be in her late 30s or perhaps early 40s, very attractive, even enveloped in a large white apron as she was. Her hair was almost hidden beneath her cap, though it kept escaping to fall over her face in damp, curling tendrils. "I'm Rose Marchant," she said. Only the second part of the name was a lie. She'd thought that best. "I've come to London looking for work. I can cook and clean and clear tables, but I'm not much good at anything else." Peggy Ashley laughed, and Rose liked her at once. She was glad she'd been honest as she dared to be. "Well, Rose Marchant, you've come to the right place if you're telling the truth. I have young twins, and they're a bit of a handful to tell the truth, especially Faye. Her brother is quieter, but he does what she does." Peggy clearly adored them. "They're resting for the moment, but it won't last." "Do you want help with the children?" "I want a girl who doesn't mind what she does," Peggy said, her bright blue eyes seeming to pierce Rose's soul. "Did you see my advert in the window?" "No, I just thought it looked a nice place to work. Your tubs in the arch look so pretty. They make the rest of the lane brighter. What are the flowers? You don't see many at this time of the year." "Christmas roses. Haven't they lasted well? A friend of mine did that for me as a gift last month, and the lane needs something to cheer it up," Peggy said. "I don't know how it looks to you, but that derelict bakery is an eyesore, and the lawyer's office that burned down has never been fully cleared. They sent someone to make it safe at the time, and that's all they've done. It's a shame." She continued to look at Rose as if she liked what she saw. "May I ask what made you decide to come here, to Mulberry Lane?" "I needed a change. I wasn't happy at my last place, so I thought I would try to find work in London." Rose was telling as much of the truth as she dare, and she saw Peggy Ashley frown, because she'd sensed the lie behind the truth. "Well, Rose, I'm in a bit of bother at the moment. My daughter Janet has taken her young daughter Maggie to live with a friend of hers in Devon for a while. Her husband Mike died of his war wounds, and it was awful for her. Janet helped me out when she felt up to it, and my friend Helen has been working in the kitchen and the bar, but she's just found work as a secretary, and that leaves me with a rather lot to do. So I'll give you a try, and we'll see if you settle here. You can have Helen's old room now she's gone." Peggy was looking at the suitcase. "Unless you've got somewhere to live." Relief flooded through Rose, because she felt unable to search further and didn't know where to go next. "I couldn't afford it until I found work." "Well, you may as well live in until you find your feet or want to move on," Peggy said. "Bring that suitcase and I'll show you. And then I'm afraid I'm going to put you to work, but I shall give you a cup of tea and something to eat first." Rose smiled and nodded, feeling nervous. Peggy was friendly, and it looked as if Rose had been lucky. But if her new employer ever discovered the truth, it would probably all go sour. The best she could do was to work hard and hope that Peggy would forgive her if she ever realized just who Rose was. Peggy watched the girl tackle the load of washing up waiting in the large butler sink. She could tell by the way Rose rinsed the glasses in cold water after washing them that she'd done this sort of work before, and thought that perhaps she'd been lucky. Peggy sensed that her new helper was basically honest, though she was obviously hiding something. But most people had secrets, and she was desperate enough to take a chance on her. The previous summer of 1943, Janet had decided to go and stay with her friend Rosemary in Devon, the widow of Mike's commander. She had 2 sons to bring up alone, and she and Janet seemed to understand each other's feelings. After months of endless black despair over her husband's cruel death, Janet had decided she could not go on living in the place where he had died. Peggy understood her daughter's terrible grief. Mike had seemed to be so much better, before suddenly dying in his sleep at Janet's side, and that had dealt her a hard blow. Peggy had heard her daughter weeping night after night, and knew that Janet was bitter and angry, even with those she loved.